Let's take a break here. We'll be right back after this with our good friend Gwen Levey. Gwen Levey and the Breakdown, of course, the singer-songwriter who brought us Barefoot and Pregnant. We'll check in and see how things have been going as she's been performing and traveling around the country. More after this on WC.
Driving it home with Patti Vasquez, Patti Vasquez.
From global conflicts to greenhouse gases, the folks refusing to wear masks says, and politicians getting caught grabbing asses says, she's driving it home with Patti Vasquez.
Thank you so much for joining us as we continue to drive it home. I am your host, Patti Vasquez, broadcasting live from New Orleans. I was planning on being home today for this show, but the weather had different plans. I'm down here for the most snow that New Orleans has had in over 130 years, and it's been quite the adventure. And I'm so grateful to the WCPT 820 in Chicago, Lady B, Matt Cummings, Tim Hogan, Mark Pinsky, everyone that has made it possible for me to broadcast from New Orleans today, and of course the fill-in hosts who have been keeping the conversation going: Ken Mejia Beal, Elliot Serrano, Adam Selzer, and I will be off again tomorrow because I'll still be in New Orleans. So Elliot Serrano and Ken Mejia Beal will be back in studio once again, shining a light on the madness that's unfolding. I want to say hi to our friends listening on KTNF AM 950 Minneapolis, St. Paul, the progressive voice of Minnesota, because I'm so thrilled to bring everybody, our guest once again, Gwen Levey from Gwen Levey and the Breakdown. She's been performing at events in Nashville, doing events in Washington, D.C., the anti-inauguration ball. Gwen, how has the last week been for you, my friend?
It's been interesting. I've had a good week. It kind of started off as it did for you because of the snow that happened in Washington but didn't amount to what they expected. They canceled my flight to DC, so I wasn't actually able to play the anti-inauguration Music and Arts Festival, even though I heard that they raised. I know. I heard they raised a good amount of money for abortion care centers and LGBTQ plus centers. So I'm really happy to hear that. But I think that they're going to have something like that again over the summer at Walsh Family Vineyards in Percival, Virginia. So I should be back up there over the summer to headline like I was supposed to do on Monday. But I think the universe, was like, well, Gwen, Marcus, because Marcus was supposed to come with me, I think you are not supposed to be in D.C. at this time. And, I'm grateful because while I'm sad I wasn't able to play the festival, I was added to a Planned Parenthood fundraiser last night. And Carlene Carter, Carlene Carter, who is June Carter Cash's daughter and Johnny Cash's stepdaughter, she headlined, and I got to open for her at this Planned Parenthood fundraiser last night. And she was so sweet and took me backstage and said she loves Barefoot and Pregnant, especially loves the music video, and was just giving me some advice and just was like, let me mentor you, kind of thing. And I think we're going to stay in touch. So hopefully, she said when she has another show, she'd love for me to open for her again. So that was a silver lining, even though we weren't able to go to DC this week.
Oh, man. Well, first of all, congratulations. So well deserved. All the compliments, the support from people in your community, meaning the music industry, and especially legendary figures like she is with her family. Yeah. Well, because here I was thinking about this. I don't know if you saw this story out of Milwaukee. A weather reporter expressed their thoughts about Trump on social media, and the news station fired her. And we know as artists, would the path be easier within our circles, our access to certain platforms? Some perhaps be easier if we didn't want to hold people accountable and tell the truth, right? Do you have those moments of because you're a talented singer and songwriter, and you have a lot of pushback from what was typically a conservative arena, isn't it?
Absolutely. Being in Nashville, we're predominantly country music, even though we have many different other genres here now. But a lot of MAGA folks are in country music, as we've seen. And I've been friends with a lot of them, and it's hard for me as an artist who is so outspoken, as you said, Patti, because while there was a lot of doors that did open to me because I wrote a pro-choice country anthem, I also had a lot closed on me. And, yeah, I have moments all the time where, if I didn't speak out or if I wasn't so outspoken, then this friend would still be talking to me again, or, this circle would be embracing me, or this wouldn't have happened. Or even, with Meta, a lot of people are leaving Meta. So I saw my followers dropping, and I was just like, what's happening? Is it the content I'm putting out? Is it because I am too outspoken? But I think it is because people are leaving Meta because they're so angry with the way that Mark Zuckerberg has, embraced Trump, going back on obviously what he said back in 2020 after January 6th. So, I think in many ways I would, be somebody in the industry right now if I wasn't speaking out, but at the same time, I don't think I would be who I am. And one of the biggest things Carlin Carter said to me that she actually said Johnny Cash said to her, was always trying to teach her, was to be your authentic self. And that's just what I'm trying to be, is to be my authentic self. And she even said, she's like, you may be, ostracized from some circles and not, doors won't maybe not fly open for you as quickly, but also she said it's also very damaging to not be true to who you are, even as an artist. So, I feel like I said, I go through that all the time, but I'm proud of myself for speaking out, even though like right now, especially maybe it's just today, I feel like emotionally exhausted, and
yep.
I just feel exhausted. Like all day I've just been just very tired. And I think right now, I'm hopeful because of the people I'm surrounded with and people who keep reaching out to me on social media and what they're saying and the encouragement, the support. But I'm just tired today, and just seeing all the, if I can read this, I mean, you might have already stopped me if you've already put this on your, I talked about this on your show, Patti, but, just within these past few days since Trump's been in office, these are the executive actions and orders that he signed. This is just his first day in office. He signed these. He attempted to end birthright citizenship for certain children of non-citizens. And I just saw good news is a federal judge blocked that. So hopefully that isn't able to go through. But as we know with these things, Trump has a way of pushing things through. He also made an executive order to only recognize only two sexes, male and female, for federal documents and policies. So, obviously eliminating the trans community that we have in this country. He's granted pardons for an estimated 1,500 January 6th criminal defendants. He began the withdrawal from the World Health Organization, which is very scary. He initiated withdrawal from the Paris Climate Agreement. As we all know, that's, taking back all the efforts that previous administrations have made to ensure that the United States is pushing towards, fighting global warming. And it's just we're seeing in LA, with the fires, and obviously New Orleans, just all this very extreme weather. That's very scary. He ordered federal employees back to full-time in-office work, but also said that he's revoking Biden's policy that allows transgender personnel to serve openly in the military. There's about over 16,000 openly trans military members who are now going to be losing their jobs. And he's been firing thousands of government officials as well. So, for a president that says, oh, I'm trying to create jobs, that doesn't sound like you're creating jobs there. So that was just his first day.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. That's a lot.
Yeah.
He raised the prices on prescription drugs. It is a lot. And to your point about that, having to tell your truth and doing it the way that is right for you, I think such a brave example of that was the bishop who delivered the sermon the other day to his face. But the sermon was begging for mercy. And so the reaction from people when she was truly sharing the word of Christ, right, those teachings, that they took it as, woke, and she doesn't do a very good job, and she's a leftist, and she's a Trump hater, and they don't hear the begging. I mean, she's literally begging for mercy for people in the LGBTQ plus community, for families, for migrants. It is insane, and I bet you have the same problem I do when people who present themselves as being these Christians. And then have nothing whatsoever to say when horrors like this are unfolded, right?
Absolutely. And, some of those people were my friends, who were like, well, to me, money and the economy is more important than people having basic human rights. But I'm a Christian, so right. I'm voting different than you. And it's just the hypocrisy that they can't see what they're doing and, how hypocritical they're being. And, I'm not a Christian, but I have many friends who are Christian who couldn't vote for Trump because they are Christian. Like they are like, this goes against what Christianity teaches you, what Jesus teaches you. And so I know, a lot about it through them, and also just, my grandmother was Catholic. So, I mean, I grew up going to some church services with her, so I'm not, completely foreign to what you're taught to believe from the Christian faith. So, yeah, it's horrible the way they've treated this bishop who spoke so eloquently. And I actually texted Jerry. I don't know if he got a chance to tell you, but I had written a song based on her sermon. I was so inspired by it, especially when she said, we were all strangers in this land, and I posted it with part of her sermon over the music, and then she reposted it, and we got to connect that way. And I just, I'm so happy within these past couple of days that she's been receiving such an outpouring of love, because she did post on her social media that she's planning on resigning and moving to Europe because of all the backlash, the hatred she's been getting. But I do hope she reconsiders. I understand, of course, the fear. I do not blame her at all for wanting to move after, being told, given death threats and being told such horrible things. And, she's like, well, my purpose here is to, spread the gospel and, be a good Christian. And this is really taking that away from me. And yeah, I think that for someone to be Christian and to put her down for literally spreading Christianity, it's sad to me, but it doesn't surprise me, because that's just a reflection of who follows Trump and his followers. It's like just blindly following someone who is not, I'm just going to say, he's not a Christian. He doesn't present those ideals. He definitely doesn't live them. Yeah. Like Dolly Parton says she's not but she lives her life as a feminist. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Because Donald Trump does not live his life like a Christian. Like there's so many examples of that. And that maybe that sounds harsh, but I know there's people that agree with me on that.
Yeah, I have to agree. I agree with you. I mean, I think it's a complete misunderstanding. It's a hijacking of really beautiful teachings, whether or not you're a Christian, the ideas behind, love thy neighbor like you love thyself, and, forgiveness and helping the poor, the disabled, about the caring for the weak and the ill. They are so far from that. And just so folks know, Bishop Marianne Edgar Budd, I don't know how you pronounce it, if it's Budd or Boudet.
Boudet.
But Boudet, she wrote a book called, of course, How We Learn to Be Brave, Decisive Moments in Life and Faith, which is available wherever you buy books. I think they're selling out, thankfully, supporting her.
Great.
And as you mentioned, I hope that she'll reconsider as well. And, when we think about how conservatives have hijacked religion, it's also patriotism. I was talking about I was at the World War II Museum on Monday and very much moved by, what this country, what this world went through. I mean, 65 million lives lost during World War II, more than 40 million civilians alone. and what we are on the brink of being in danger of sliding into fascism again. And a listener message, I feel very sad and forlorn thinking about my late father, a decorated World War II vet. He was wounded badly in Germany and returned to the front lines in 1945, and like what he sacrificed so that we might be free. Don't you think it's insane to me that people who wave the flag and say we support our veterans and back the blue really at the end of the day don't care, do they?
From their actions, from what they're saying, I don't believe they care. I think the lack of empathy is so apparent with people who, are blindly following someone who is literally taking away the rights of people just because they don't understand them. Like, I think the hatred comes from not being able to understand those people. Like, if you're not able to understand why somebody is trans or gay, or, you're here as a migrant and you don't have the proper documentation for whatever reason, well, there's so many factors into that. It doesn't make you a criminal. It doesn't make it a sin. The real sin is being hateful and not wanting to help those people. And I always also say, if you truly believe that someone is going to go to hell and all of these things because they're sinning, because you don't agree with them, well, isn't that for God to judge? Even Dolly Parton said that when she was asked about, having gay fans and having a gay base. It's like, well, I'm not here to judge other people. That's God, So I think, again, that goes into the hypocritical thinking that these people are unfortunately believing and led to believe. And then also, like, we can also say we were talking about, oh my gosh, fighting Nazis. Well, what did Elon Musk do? And then they're defending him literally doing the Nazi salute and trying to say that, oh, it was a gesture of love. He didn't mean it like that, or it's a Roman salute. Well, the Nazis also, the Nazis also based it on the Roman salute too, and and he did it twice too. They cut out the video, but if you actually watch the whole video, he did it twice. He did it to the other side of the room too. So he knows what he's doing, and that's also why he's being. I think parts of Germany are banning him. I think Tesla's getting banned out there, is what I'm hearing too. So if the Germans are saying, "Hey, America, you're defending Nazis," then I think we should wake up and pay attention, don't you think?
I would think so. Yeah, I told the audience earlier there was several interviews with people in Germany. They were shown that video, and they were appalled. They were scared. One person said if you did that in Germany, you would be arrested. And here we are sliding into this. It's absolutely insane. And the other thing is, when you mention the rights of people to be who they are, to fulfill what they believe to be their true selves, and when we dismiss the trans population, I was telling the audience that I had a woman sit next to me at a bar, and she went off on I didn't even mention my politics. I swear, Gwen, I did not bring it up, but she was. She was from Door County, and she said that people in Chicago, because I said I was from Chicago, that we don't know how to vote, we have terrible government, that we're corrupt, we're broke, we're a mess.
Wow.
Oh yeah. She went, and I was just like, so I was very clear that I volunteer with Democrats in Wisconsin. And I said, one of the things I talk to young women about is how they almost went back to the 1850s with the trigger language in their legislation for abortions. And she said, oh yeah, that kind of bothers me, but I draw the line at men using women's bathrooms. Like, that was her whole thing. It was, and so, and one of our listeners wrote, I have a house in Door County, Wisconsin, and voted there last fall. They got 30 anti-trans mailings up there. 30.
Oh, my God.
They spent hundreds of millions of dollars across the country. Yep, that's all they spent money on was that issue. And she repeated it to me. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, so she's like, oh, I can't have men on or people that she thinks are men in female bathrooms, but I can allow, it's fine for like a predator to choose, their they're a baby mama, basically. Like, you know, they can rape someone or be a product of incest, and that's fine, you know, or sorry, being a victim of incest, and that's fine with them. You know, it's the hypocrisy again. Oh, I want to protect women and girls, yet you voted for somebody who literally is a proven abuser, who like raped someone and assaulted women. Yeah. And it's just like, Patti, if I was there, I don't know what would
Gwen, I've relived it like a few times. She goes, I have a line in the sand, and I said, or I guess a penis on the body was all I could come up with, right? And so I just wish, honestly, all I should have said was, oh, I didn't realize you're just dumb, and just turn around and stop talking to her. Like, she doesn't deserve our energy, but I didn't do that either.
Exactly. And all it takes is to educate yourself. Like, listen, so when I first moved to Nashville, so I've been here 7 years, I didn't have any trans friends or people who I knew were trans friends. You know, I had gay friends, other friends in the LGBTQ plus community, but I was, you know, being transgender, that was very new to me. I didn't understand it. And I was dating someone at the time who unfortunately was using transgender slur, and I didn't know that that was a slur. So when my friend was transitioning, she got very upset with me and said she needed space for me because I was using this word around her, and I had no idea that this was offensive. And of course I didn't mean it out of hate, you know, or anything like that, but she said, I need space from you while I am transitioning, and you know, that kind of thing. And we're close now. We're good. But at the time, I was like, I told her, I said, I really am so sorry. I need to educate myself about this issue. I did not know. And what did I do? I went and educated myself, and I got better, and then I started to understand better, you know, and that's all people have to do instead of living in their, you know, they're bigoted and hateful and racist and misogynistic bubbles. And I think it's a lot of these people, if I'm being very honest, it makes a lot of them uncomfortable because maybe there's something that they see in themselves that they're not allowed to express, you know? So
maybe,
yeah. So that's why I say, like, people can educate themselves. Like, I've been wrong before, and, you know, that's so important is to just educate. Education.
Yeah, exactly. And be there for each other and having conversations like this. We've been talking to Gwen Levey from Gwen Levey and the Breakdown. And where's the best place for folks to listen to your music and support your work?
You can find me at GwenLeveyandtheBreakdown.com. That's the Levy with 2 E's, Levey. And Patti, I hope you're safe and warm.
I am. I'm with friends and I'm having as lovely as a time as I can. I look forward to getting home, but I'm certainly not. I'm not unhappy. Enjoying more food, music, and company with good friends. So, and again, getting to talk to you. Thank you for joining us, Gwen. I look forward to talking to you again very soon. Don't hesitate to reach out. Let us know when you have something new or you just want to catch up with us. I mean, anytime. Our microphone is yours, my friend.
Thank you. I appreciate you so much, and sending so much love to you.
You too. Take care. Be well.
All right.
That's Gwen Levey. Bye-bye. We're going to talk to Scott Stantis from the Chicago Tribune, cartoonist for the Tribune and other platforms in just a moment on WCPT 820, Heartland Signal, and KTNF AM 950, Minneapolis, St. Paul. So glad you're here.
You're listening to Driving It Home with Patti Vasquez on WCPT 820.